Hi there, I'm Snigdh, a digital artist. I absolutely love working in the creative digital spectrum using 2D, 3D, and visual effects. Since the last 9 years, I've also been teaching these forms of art. And today, I'm going to teach you how to create an awesome looking audio visualizer in After Effects. This video is going to be like a behind the scene, under the hood type of scenario, where I'll be taking you through its creation process. As always, I shall be open to questions and comments and would love to see some work coming through. If you like what I teach, please consider subscribing and press the bell icon for instant updates whenever I release a new video. So, let's get creating the audio visualizer. I'm going to start off by loading up my track, which happens to be a goddess Durga mantra, where goddess Durga killed Mahishasur, the demon. So I'm going to make a comp of 1280p, hold down Ctrl K to open up the composition settings and edit its duration to around the 7-minute mark. Press enter to exit the changes. Now drag the audio track into the composition. Select the playhead in the blue. Hold down Shift and drag towards the left. The playhead should snap to the end of the layer timeline. Press the N key to define the work area. Right click and select Trim Comp to Work Area. This way we'll be focusing only on the track duration. Next, create a solid using right click or Command or Ctrl Y in the layers panel. Make it comp size and hit OK. Now, right click in the effects control, select audio spectrum. Alternatively, you can search this effect in the effects and presets panel on the right. Now what you see here is a dotted line in the stage area. Next, point the audio layer to the audio track layer so that it recognizes which audio to work with. Hit spacebar to see the visualizer in action. Okay, so bring the playhead to a spot where you can see the spike going up. We'll be adjusting some properties to taste. Bring up the frequency bands to a higher number so we can see the effect that it's having on the spikes. In the display option, let's switch to one of the other options like analog dots. Play around with these two settings to get a desired result. Now if I wanted to, I could take a mask just like this on the same solid layer and make a curve out of it. In the path area, map it to mask 1, the same that we just created. So the visualizer switches to the arc rather than a straight line. Let's change the dots to analog lines or digital. Let's go ahead in the timeline area and move the playhead to this location and take a look at what are the beats doing to my visualizer. So the possibilities are opening up now. Let's experiment a bit by duplicating the arc visualizer horizontally onto the other side. The colors can be switched at will to liking. Similarly, to only have the visualizer animate on one side of the mask, use side A or side B. Very interesting. Now in order to change the overall shape of the visualizer, it's quite simple. Just change the mask shape. Point the path to mask 1. Again, switching the side options to side B makes it animate on the outer side only. Now to give it a colored look, reach out to the hue interpolation and change those numbers just by a left mouse drag. Or you could simply just give it 1x rotation. Change the maximum height. This is going to control how high or low these spikes go. Thickness controls the overall thickness of the individual spikes. I'm going to bring the thickness down. So basically, you could go on and customize the look of the visualizer to taste. Let's take this a step further now. Okay, so right click on the audio layer and go to Keyframe Assistant. Convert audio to keyframes. After Effects is going to take a second here to analyze the audio and do its calculations behind the curtain. And then what we get is another layer here, which says Audio Amplitude. Now I'm going to go ahead and look for an image that would go with the overall design. You could use your own image. Open up the effects in the Audio Amplitude layer and notice that we have 3 channels here, the left, right and both. I'm not going to be using the left or the right channel, so I'm going to delete this. You may choose otherwise. Open up the scale value of the image by pressing the S key to bring up the scale value. Alt-click to open up the expressions window. Take the pick whip and parent it to the slider value in both channels. As a result, we get an expression down here. Go to the end of the expression and let's add in a little condition here. Hit spacebar, plus, spacebar again, square brackets open, 100, 100, square brackets closed. So essentially we are telling the expression in the scale value to follow the frequency of the audio in both the channels while scaling up and down. Also we are defining the base values to remain 100 in the X and 100 in the Y values. This way, the scale is never going to go below the 100% size of the image. Nice. Now add an adjustment layer. Go to the effects and add a fastbox blur. Alt-click the blur radius to activate the expression window. Leave it like that, we'll come back to it later. Okay, so far so good. Open up the blur radius values and parent it using the pick whip to the slider here. Hold down T to bring up the opacity values of the image. Repeat the procedure here too. If I add 100 plus to the expression here, the opacity is going to follow the beat, but it's not going to have any effect on the transparency of the layer. Head to the blur radius settings, and if you feel the blur is a little too much, we could bring that down by multiplying the complete expression by 0.5 or even lesser. Let's try this on the scale value of the image too. We get an error here because I used a wrong bracket here. So the usage order of the brackets go in the following manner: the normal brackets, the square brackets, and then the curly braces. So I see that we have already used the normal and the square brackets here. So now to add the next condition, we will need the curly braces here. Let's do that. We can see what effect it has over the scale of the image. So now it's time to remap the audio frequency to which I want the image to react to. As of now, it's reacting to all of the audio, which is fine. But I don't want that. So I'll type in an expression here. Type in linear value 0, 0, 0 and 0. So I'll explain these 0 values now. Enter 30 in the X and 60 as the remapped value. So I'm saying that the image should react to only frequencies of 30 and above, and I'm redefining those frequencies to be 60 here. Similarly, type in 50 and 100 on the other end. So now you see that the image is not reacting to any frequencies below 30. Let's see the result. Okay, so now since we understand how this is working, let's try modifying the numbers. The value that we see here is actually coming in from the slider only. So we could, if we wanted, select the value and pick whip and replace it with the slider too. Let's quickly drag the visualizer that we created on top of everything. Now, to give some random movement to the background image, let's add in another expression in the position value of the image. Press P to bring up the position, Alt-click and type wiggle, bracket open, X, comma, Y, bracket closed. And I'm going to be entering 2 in the X and 6 in the Y. As a result, we see some randomized movement starts to happen. Now it's time to create the clock, the seek bar and the title of the song. Right click and add in a text layer. Type in 00:00. Choose a font of your liking. I'm going with Bebas Neue. Reposition the text. Open up the text layer and dig out that source text value and alt click on it. I'm going to be providing the script to you that I use here to create the clock. Copy and paste this whole thing in the source text. The clock will follow the duration of the composition timeline. Next, duplicate the solid layer, which holds the visualizer, and delete the mask. Change the side options to side A. Reposition the visualizer. Next, create a shape layer and you may choose a rectangle here or in the add section here. Unlink the proportion chain in the size to change the overall width. Reposition it using the position parameters. Adjust the visualizer. Add in a stroke to the rectangle. Give it a color. Adjust the height. Duplicate the rectangle and bring down the height and width so that this fits inside our former rectangle. Add in a white stroke following the same procedure. Right click and select Convert Bezier to Path. Now it's going to be just about animating the path. Click the mask path and click on the stopwatch once to apply a keyframe. Drag it to the end of the timeline. Next, zoom in and go to the end of the path. Double click on the path, select the middle anchor point and ensure that the playhead is in the beginning of the timeline. Drag the path to the beginning of the timeline to a point where it is not visible. This is going to be the beginning of my path seek bar animation. Now it's time to adjust my clock. Bring it to the beginning of my seek bar. Animate its position along the bar. Let's add a triangle shape along the seek bar and animate this one too. Time to add the titles here. Reposition it in a manner where it looks nice. And this brings me to the end of the video. So let's quickly review what we did today. We created a basic visualizer synced to the audio track. We looked at some basic expressions which help us really define what we want the animation to follow. And finally, a cool looking interface all tied up together. Hope this video will help you in some way in your creative endeavors. Until next time, this is Snigdh signing off. Take care and never stop creating.